Welcome back to our Kite to Cable series. In this chapter, we will be covering the intermediate beginner board skills, the skills that will help you build a solid foundation into advanced riding. This lesson will focus on the Ollie, the Surface 180, and riding blind. Each lesson will start with a slide covering the key skills, followed by instruction from Scott Forwerda. We'll end each lesson with tips to tie the skill back into your kiteboarding. These skills will be especially useful for intermediate riders who may need to work on their foundation, as well as newer riders ready to try their first tricks. Remember, practice makes permanent, and with the cable you can turn winless days into progression days. The Ollie. You'll want to start on the water and avoid features at first. Lift your front leg while simultaneously pushing off your tail. Bring your knees into your chest as you reach the apex of your jump. Prepare to come down and land flat. Make sure you favor the edge opposite your direction of travel. For your first Ollie, this will be your heel side edge. Your first attempt will be small, but stay diligent and you will get better every session.
Another first trick you're going to learn when you get on the board, goes along with your board skills, is the Ollie. The Ollie is very simple if you know the right technique. It's pull up on your front knee and pop with your back tail of your board, and then both knees up at the same time and both knees and board down to the water at the same time. Kind of looks like this.
The Ollie will help build fundamentals for jumping while kiteboarding. It'll teach you body awareness while in the air and proper landing technique. It will also help you develop the core strength and endurance needed for more advanced tricks in both sports. Once you have this dialed in at the cable park, take it back to the kite and give it a try. This is a great way to add some style to your riding. Ollie off a small wave and try some basic grabs. The progressions over time are limitless. The Surface 180. Pull the bar from your lead hip to your back hip. Allow the board to slide underneath you. Keep your toes up and your weight on your heel edge. You can slack the line by pulling the handle hard into your lead hip first, building some board speed, thus outrunning the line a little bit.
A simple progression trick that you can then learn on the cable that you can take over to your kiting is the Surface 180. Doing the Surface 180, you have to really be aware of your edges sliding across the water. Keep the handle in one hip and pull to the opposite hip at the same time you're spinning your board on the water 180 degrees. Keep your toes up so the front edge of that board doesn't dive into the water and you don't face plant. You really need to be aware of your edges as you're spinning that board around. One great tip for the Surface 180 is when you're about to initiate the 180, advance yourself up to the rope, pull your rope towards your hips, advance yourself forward, which will give you a little slack in your line and allow you to spin that board around a lot easier.
Learning to do the Surface 180 will train your muscle memory for spins, transitions, landing blind, or landing toe side on the kite. Once you have the Ollie and Surface 180 dialed, bring them together. After you build your foundation at the cable park, try it on a kite. Doing an Ollie 180 to toe side is a fun and stylish way to transition on your kite. Riding blind. Start with the surface pass to blind, then progress to an Ollie to blind. Keep the bar in the small of your back. Twist your hips away from your direction of travel and land flat. Remember, the body will follow your head, so be sure to look over your shoulder.
One other great thing you can do and learn on your wakeboard or kiteboard is the blind landing or riding blind. Whenever you're landing blind, you really want to land with that handle right up against the small of your back. As soon as you let the handle get away from your back, you're really going to lose the trick. It's going to pull you back over. Land, handle at your back, leaning forward, and then pass the handle into your other hand. And you should have the blind 180.
Landing blind is a great skill to have in either sport. Almost any trick you can imagine can be spiced up by adding a blind landing. On the kite, we recommend learning how to ride and land blind hooked in. Of course, doing this unhooked is going to feel a lot more like the cable. Landing blind does take a bit of practice. For this reason, we recommend spending some time riding blind every session, whether it's at the cable park or at your local beach. Before you know it, landing blind will feel as natural as riding toe side. Thanks for watching. If you're curious what's next or feeling ready to try your first tricks, feel free to click the link provided here. Also, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to call us at 1-800-622-4655 or hit us up on our live chat with the link provided in the description below.